Hello and welcome to the English Institute of Sport here in Sheffield for this BBL Championship action between Sheffield Sharks and the Manchester Giants right here on Sky Sports. It's a clash between two teams who are fighting it out for a playoff spot. Both sides won the previous league meetings at home, so tonight's game will decide the season series and with it the tiebreaker should they finish level on points at the end of the campaign. A huge Trans-Pennine derby tonight. Before we get into the action, let's have a look at how the two teams are placed in the league table ahead of tonight's game. And as we can see, they're level on points. It's an epic battle for a couple of playoff places. London currently in 7th with 9 wins, but they played 24 games to get there. Sheffield have the fewest defeats of the 4 teams behind the line, so currently sit above the playoff line in 8th. Manchester may look second from bottom, but that's only alphabetical as they have an identical record to Cheshire and Durham. Still plenty more twists and turns in this battle for postseason spots, that's for sure. Well, it's an important game in the playoff battle tonight. I'm joined by a man who's involved in that battle, the Durham coach, Dave Elderkin. And Dave, unfortunately, there is going to be a winner tonight. I'm sure you'd quite happily see them both lose.
I would like to see a draw, but obviously we know that's not going to happen. We're 1-1 with Manchester, we're 3 down on Sheffield, so I'm guessing, especially as I was born in Sheffield, I maybe hope supporting the home team tonight.
And it really is an exciting battle to watch from the outside. How has it been for you involved in this 5-way chase?
Oh, I think it's fascinating. I think it's added real dimension to the league this year. There's Cheshire down there with us, there's London down there with us. Really competitive, and obviously Mersey are a little bit detached at the moment and probably out of it, but it's been a great season in terms of the battle going on at the top and at the bottom of the league.
And of course the season series on the line in this game, that is the tiebreaker should teams finish level at the end of the season. That doubles the value of this game.
Yeah, is it 1-1 here, is it? Yeah. We've got 1-1 with Manchester. We've got the head-to-head on Cheshire and the head-to-head on London, so we're in a reasonable position. But yeah, fascinating game tonight, really looking forward to it. And it's the first time I've seen Nick George play live, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, Manchester certainly seem to have picked up a bit since he's gone. If nothing else, it's given them extra depth because it's bounced somebody a bit further down the bench.
Yeah, I hear what he's doing is he's playing well himself, but I also hear he's given real confidence to his teammates. And it's interesting, you know, there was a time when Stefan had a slump, but Stefan seems to be really on fire at the moment. So yeah, it's some great matchups tonight. Really looking forward to it.
And Sheffield seem to be in some decent form over the last few weeks. They look like a team that's starting to get momentum at the right time.
They are. I mean, BJ Holmes on every occasion when I've seen him is a real point guard, but he's also a shooting threat. So Manchester have got to be wary of that. I love Mike Tuck's game. I think every time I see him, he has big games for them. I've only seen the new kid Jemison a couple of times, but again, useful. But no, really good game in prospect tonight.
It certainly does promise to be an exciting clash. Earlier I caught up with the coaches of both sides to see what their thoughts were. Atiba, an important game for you guys up against Manchester, season series on the line.
Yeah, Manchester's much improved since last time we played them. They added a key piece with Nick George, so you know, we're expecting a tough game and hopefully we can come out on the right end.
Now you have beaten them the last couple of times. What did you do well in those games?
I think we played pretty good defense. You know, we held them to a reasonable amount of points, and you know, we were able to close it out because they made runs at us each time, but we were able to hold our nerve and finish the game.
And you mentioned they've added Nick George in recent weeks. How do you think he's changed their team?
He gives them that kind of X-factor piece that someone they trust that can throw the ball into and something good will happen. I think before that they missed it. They're a very good team offensively. Everyone shared the ball, but they didn't have that one go-to guy. So now they have that piece. Everyone's confidence has stepped up.
And from the outside, your defense looks pretty good. Your offense may be a little inconsistent. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, we're down the bottom of the table for a reason. You know, we play pretty good defense for considering the season, but you know, we go cold in stretches and we don't finish games out. So yeah, that's probably our Achilles heel all season. So it's no secret.
If you think if you can get sort of 85, 86 points on the board, that should be a winning margin for you?
85, 86, it'll be a tight game. I think this team's, you know, it's a high-scoring team, so you know, I expect them to push that limit as well.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to us. Well, Jeff, there's always a great rivalry between Sheffield and Manchester, but this game takes on extra magnitude. It's a huge game for you guys.
Yeah, obviously we're all in a dogfight at the bottom, looking for that 8th spot or 7th spot, and I think I think we have 5 or 6 really key games, and obviously it's starting tonight at Sheffield. We get this one, we get the head-to-head. There's a lot on the line, and that kind of hopefully puts us in a little bit of a better position going to Leicester tomorrow. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be. I think they're playing well. I think Holmes is a great addition, and I think we got our work cut out for us to win in Sheffield. But we'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Of course, you had that little scouting trip with us last week against Leicester. What did you learn about Sheffield in that game?
No, I think Sheffield, if you let them control the tempo and kind of disrupt what you want to do in the flow of the game, like they did in the first half, it was an untypical Leicester performance, I thought, in the first half. But I think a little bit of that, or a lot of that, had to do the way Sheffield controlled the tempo. Second half, Leicester put up the pressure, wore out Holmes a little bit, and I think that's a good model and a good thing. I'm not sure we have enough bodies on the perimeter to do that. So we have a game plan, but it is really not letting Sheffield control the tempo.
Is it about trying to pick up the pace and making it a faster game?
Oh, I think with certain personnel on the floor for us, I don't think they can run with us. But again, we have to combat their inside presence. Jamison, I thought, was exceptional for them last week, especially first half. We have to negate that. But if we focus too much on that, then you have Tuck and Babaloa. So they're tough. Their 6-7 guys are pretty good. And I think if we can get it up and down the floor and maybe fatigue becomes a factor, maybe down the stretch we might have a bit of an edge.
Well, Olo, you guys have the fewest defeats of any of the teams in this playoff battle. You can really put some ground between yourselves and Manchester with a win tonight.
Yeah, that's the goal. You know, they're a tough team. They made some new adjustments. Added some players, so they look really well. I've just come out here now looking at them. I didn't even realize it was so deep. So it's going to be a tough one, but we're going to come out here and play as hard as we can.
You had a couple of good wins over them in recent weeks. What did you do well in those occasions?
I think we just closed the game out. I mean, the last one was tough. It was overtime. So we just have to learn how to just play like each possession, the whole possession through, and just see what happens at the end. Hopefully we'll come out on top.
And you did look in decent form going into last week's game. You've managed to get that out of the system.
Yeah, I mean, we lost the game, but we feel good about how things are. You know, it's going to be tough to beat a team like Leicester. But, you know, onwards and upwards, that's done now. And today's Manchester, so we're going to see how we are here.
And you controlled the tempo very well in the first half last week. Is that something you're trying to do again tonight?
Yeah, that's key for us. If we control the tempo, keep them in front of us, you know, make sure they don't leak out, good transition defense, we'll be all right, I think.
And defensively, you guys seem to have done a good job this year. Is it putting points on the board that you've struggled with?
I think it's that, along with a few injuries here and there, but I think our main focus, you know, every year I've been here has been number one. The first thing is defense. So after that, yeah, I mean, it's been hard to get in a couple baskets, but I think we're scoring more now and people are getting more comfortable. You know, BJ's here and he's a great scorer and he's also good at getting other people buckets too. So I think, yeah, defense is the main thing, but now is next to get some buckets and I think we'll be all right now.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to us. Well, David, it's always a big game when you meet a team close to you in the table, but with the season series on the line, this one doubles in value.
100%. I mean, obviously we're quite closely together on points, and we need to really start making a playoff push now. And this, I think, is a perfect time for us to do it. I mean, last time we came here, you know, we didn't have our best performance. Sheffield ran us off the floor, so I think right now we can prove to ourselves and the league that we belong in the playoffs.
And the last couple of times you've met them, they've managed to beat you. What do you have to improve from those performances?
Well, I think rebounding is a big key. Obviously, you've got Mike and Olu who crash the boards real hard. You know, not to take away from our players, but you know, we need to compete, we need to box them out and stop their second chance points.
And is trying to push the tempo a little bit, trying to run at them, would that be a key factor?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's, you know, half of our game right there. You know, use our defense to get out and run. You know, the wins we've had, we've done it really, really well and convincingly. We've come out on top. So if we can set the tempo early on, I think we'll have a good chance of winning.
And obviously you've beaten Surrey a couple of times in recent weeks. What's that done for the confidence of the team?
I mean, you know, obviously we understand that, you know, beating Surrey is a big thing. They're high at the table and we're not. But you know, we can't let it go to our heads. A win's a win, and you know, a win is one step closer to the playoff, and that's what we're after.
And is it the consistency, the thing that's eluded you this season?
It definitely has. You know, at both ends of the floor, we need to get stops, and you know, we need to score. We've gone through patches, especially early on. We've gone at 8-9 minutes, you know, playing terrible defense. But now I think as the season's gone on, we've come to the point where we need to really come together and focus. And I think, you know, we're there.
Well, let's take a look at the two team rosters just before we get underway here. We saw the Sharks held to a really low number last week by the Riders, but aside from that, they've looked in decent shape in 2012. Their run of 5 wins in the last 6 weeks have been started by consecutive successes over the Giants. Dave, when they get above 83 points, they're 10-2 this season. If they can score a decent number above the league average, they've got a good chance.
Got a really good chance if they can get into the 80s, and it's no surprise at all in terms of the game against Leicester. Leicester are a tremendously tough team, and what was interesting watching the game on Sky is how Leicester, where Sheffield were in that game for long periods, maybe even up to 30 minutes, but as soon as Leicester put that zone in, Sheffield had problems.
Well, let's have a quick look at the Giants lineup. The addition of Nick George has certainly helped the lineup. It's boosted their offensive firepower. He's not in the BBL top 20 because he hasn't played enough games. If he was, he'd be 5th in scoring. He's certainly been an asset.
He's been a real asset to them. He's obviously a talent. I mean, the last time I saw Nick play, he was wearing a GB vest. Very impressed with the way he played in that series. And, I understand, and quite rightly, he's given his teammates real confidence, and that is probably the key for Manchester going into tonight's game.
Well, the two teams are out and ready to go for this vital BBL Championship game, and it's the hometown Sharks who will get the first possession. Not just 2 points on the line, but the decider should these teams finish level on points. And the way it is in this battle for playoff places, it would be a surprise if a few teams weren't level on points at the end of the season. Tuck unable to convert on the first play.
Yeah, what was no surprise at all is they went to Tuck in the first play. Quite a complicated play, but I always knew it was going to end up with Mike Tuck getting the ball inside.
Michael Williams just unable to haul that rebound in, slipped through his hands out of bounds. So James Jones will be handed the ball by the referee and get things underway with George. Comes round to Jones. Jones would have been a 3 last year, hits down a long-range shot. He's very effective from that sort of distance.
One of the best shooters in the league in terms of coming off screens and catch and shoot. You got that right there. Interesting to see how they're going to Nick George very early.
BJ Holmes slicing through the defense, no real help at all, and he made them pay.
No, into Manchester's point of view, Jeff, I'm disappointed that the weak side didn't get over quicker. From Sheffield's perspective, DJ showing another dimension here. He's a very good shooter, very good at setting up the plays, and there he showed good penetration.
Good pass from Aliou up top to find, look at this, great assist from Aliou, finding Watts diving to the hole.
Really, really good executed offense there by Manchester Giants. Always had the passing game under Jeff Jones, and I can't see tonight being any different.
Well, Tuck's had another one bobble out. Looked like 2 easy scores for the big man, but he didn't get the home court roll on either of them.
He's playing against Durham, he gets those early scores, so a little bit of intimidation there from the Manchester defense.
Here's George with the shot clock ticking down. Top of the key, knocks down the jumper.
The first signs there that Nick, if his team won't get it done from teamwork, then he's going to do it by himself.
Giants out to an early lead here at the EIS. 2 minutes in, they're up 4. Williams to Tuck. BJ Holmes coming round the screen. Babalola trying to back down on Watts to the little fall away, and they've had 3 shots now rattle out the Sharks.
And every one was a high percentage shot, wasn't it? So, I mean, you really... Oh, great steal there by Olu. And he's got the look of the draw and the roll off the foot. But no, Sheffield setting up to go inside, 0 for 3 by going inside.
Babalola knocks it loose, and you can see it came off his leg last. Good defensive play from Olu. Well, Sheffield, to all intents and purposes, should be in the lead here. They've had 3 shots that almost always go in for them, but for some reason they've not dropped in the opening 2.5 minutes here. Babalola with the shot clock getting low, fires up from behind the arc, doesn't quite go, and rebound pulled in by Dave Aliou.
Yeah, Manchester really spreading out well there on defense and making it very difficult for the Sharks to move the ball.
Watts with the quick fire up 3, his trademark shot, knocks it down. Giants by 7 early on.
Yep. Sheffield have to rethink here the strategy, but Tintin, David Watts, another great catch-up and shoot player.
Of course, he's so tall and he gets the shot off so quick, it makes it hard to defend. Babalola, Sheffield low in the shot clock again. Down to Tuck. Tuck has to go to work here, fires it up, and this one finally does roll in for him.
He finally gets it to drop, and that will encourage Sheffield, because that's been their strategy up to now, make a few passes and find a low block play for either Tuck or Babalola.
Aliou into the basket, off the glass. and the Atiba Lions forced into a timeout. His team, we talked about how well they've done defensively this year. They're one of the lowest conceded teams in the BBL, but they've given up 11 points already in this game.
Well, you know, Manchester, Jeff talks about the running game, but actually he's got a really good half-court tempo here. They're coming down the floor, they're not looking to set up, they're looking to move the ball quickly. And any opportunity they get to go for a score, they're going straight for it. Whereas Sheffield are setting up deliberately, looking to get the ball into the low block. So far, that's given the edge to Manchester.
Once the players take a break, we will too. More action when we return.
Well, Manchester showing a bit of full court pressure here with Bailey pressuring up on Holmes. But he is going to drop back and let him have a relatively easy passage over the halfway line. Williams round to Holmes. Tuck in the low block. Squares up to Aliou. Cross court to Babalola. Babalola drives past. Oh, what a move by Olu Babalola.
Yeah, really strong move by Olu. He saw the chance there to penetrate. Really good foot fake. Sold the fake, and then he went strong to the basket.
Here's George for Manchester to Watts. Bailey left open on the pick and roll. Tuck got a hand on that, but it still got to Jones. Tuck with a great block, but it ends up in the hands of Dave Aliou, and he knocks it in off the glass. David
read that play really well. He kept vision all the time on what was happening with the ball and just saw his opportunity to slip to the basket off the screen.
Great block from Tuck, but Aliou picked up the pieces, and here's George at the defensive end with the steal. He's still going. He's struggling to get control of the ball, and eventually he was fouled as he went down court, but it just seemed like the ball wouldn't come to him, and eventually he drew the foul.
I think the referees had a number of options to call a foul there. I mean,
I think that's the case Jeff is making, because he knocked the ball loose here, and I think Jeff wanted a foul there or there, and eventually got one somewhere around there.
I guess Manchester will prefer the third one because he's taken them nearer to the bucket.
It'll be a Giants ball from the side, which is inbound to Bailey. Aliou with the high screen. Bailey under pressure, fires short, and Williams with the rebound. Arms up in the air in exasperation from Coach Jones there. Didn't like that shot. Williams, another one that looked like it was going in for a second there.
Yeah, they're either going for the inside score or the inside kiss off the glass, and none of them are really falling for them in big numbers. I mean, Williams to me is a good quality player, and I think he's going to have to just step up his game a little bit in this first quarter. He's key to Sheffield getting into this game.
Nick George did well to get the centre position there as he raced down court, and Babalola could only foul him as the ball was lobbed in. Manchester ball from the side, which is now with George. Trying to get it to Aliou. It's not loose. Williams didn't see it. Was right behind him. George pulls up for three, little short, and Williams grabs the rebound.
Certainly the tempo at the moment is all with Manchester.
Williams drives in to the hole, gets a tip back, doesn't go. Third attempt, Michael Williams knocks it in.
Yeah, he really stayed with that well. I mean, this kid's lit it up in the 3 times Durham have played them, both inside and out. He's got range on his shot as well. He's going to be important to Sheffield.
George trying to find a way to the basket. Rebound pulled down by Tuck. Well, you said a moment ago, Dave, that Manchester had the momentum, but they only have a 3-point lead after that score from Tuck. Sheffield have hung around.
Really well executed play, and I like that play from Sheffield's point of view. That is running screens for people off the ball, cutting the big guys to the basket rather than pounding it into them to the low post. Sheffield will want to do more of that.
Jones, good defense from Bridge, recovered well after buying the original head fake. His Holmes out on the break.
No, we've had a real switch in emphasis here, Daniel, because early on Sheffield were pounding it inside. Now Sheffield are going to teamwork, and Manchester are trying the individual stuff.
Babalola almost inside, draws the foul from Nick George. They are still looking to try and, but as you say, in the context of their offense, feed the inside guys.
They are, but they're bringing that inside guy from the outside, so they'll have a lot more of an inside-outside game, which will suit them. And I think Jeff will be a little bit disappointed on the last 2 or 3 offenses where the Manchester Giants motion is frozen, and so, you know, one guy's trying to do it by himself.
Steph Gill in for the first time, so too Ben Eves, as James Jones and Dave Watts sit down. Olu Babalola trying to cut this back to a 1-point game.
Early evidence here, Daniel, of Jeff's belief in strength in depth and his willingness to rotate his squad early, even when they've got a lead.
Babalola, you could hear him screaming frustration as that didn't go. But they've cut this right back. Remember, the Giants led by as many as 11 points to 4 after 3.5 minutes. George gets it back. As he tried to pass it off, it ended up coming right back to him, and he stretches the lead back to 4.
Yeah, he got lucky with the drop there. It's almost like he gave himself an assist. Oh, that's a nice play.
It is, and once again, Sheffield going to the basket. It's been very effective for them.
Yeah, as soon as these big guys for Sheffield have started working away from the ball, it's had an immediate impact for them.
Lewis knocks the ball out of bounds, and Manchester will keep it. Big Mike Bernard coming into the game for the first time. Dave Aliu getting himself a breather. I was talking to Dave before the game. He's been struggling with a back problem all week that he picked up in last weekend's game. He's hoping the adrenaline will get him through and get him loose. Gill, first touch, fires up for 3, not quite.
Yeah, David Aliu spent a lot of time before the game stretching out that back and his quadriceps and his hamstrings, and it looks as though he was loose enough to me, but he really did work hard before the game to get loose.
Well, it's one of those things where you might be able to get through the game, but it's how you recover. And of course, back-to-back games for the Manchester Giants. But this definitely the most important of the two they play this weekend. The other game is away at Leicester.
That would be a hard game for them, even if they hadn't had tonight's game. But interesting subs here from Sheffield, bringing Andrew Bridge in and Nick Lewis, is it, number 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him light the gym up from the three-point line.
Gill, here's another guy that can fill it up from the three-point line, Steph Gill. I think a lot of the good things that Manchester do come through Gill. I think when Gill plays well, Manchester play well.
Well, he's quick, isn't he?
He is lightning quick.
He's quick, he's got great vertical skills, and he can combine those two into a pull-up jump shot, which is very, very difficult to defend.
Is Callum Jones down to Bernard. Bernard trying to back down on top to the old school hook for 2.
Well, that takes me back to the late 90s when I saw him play as an 18-year-old. I mean, obviously, Mike Bernard's from the original Giants, and he still shows he's got the moves.
The last remaining piece from that old Manchester team. Babalola, they're just getting to the basket too easily, the Sharks.
I like this wing-to-wing swing they're running. It's opening things up for them. It's a changing strategy by Atiba, and it's certainly paying off for him.
Well, it certainly has, and as George fires up for 2.
Not sure Jeff will be pleased with that shot, because Nick at the moment, I mean, he is getting open, but he's just not making his shots. Maybe needs to a little extra pass in the Manchester team.
His homes from behind the arc, not quite. As we were just saying, Babalola and Tuck have 11 of Sheffield's 15 points. They've just got to the basket way too easily for Coach Lyons' liking. And Demetrius Jameson is going to come in for Babalola.
Yeah, you look at his rotations. He's rotated his 3 big guys well, and it's paying off for him.
Well, Babalola sits down, 5 points to his name. That's a little high for Callum Jones, but he does haul it in. Gill from behind the arc for 3, had a sighter a moment ago, knocks it down in the corner.
Great run off the screen, great catch and shoot. That's the 3rd Manchester basket where they've used the screen effectively, and the guy's executed really good catch and shoot skills.
Jemison to Bridge. Tuck coming up to the top of the key. Little stop, drives in, tried the bounce pass down to Jemison, but it was deflected out of bounds. Sheffield will keep possession, only 5 on the shot clock.
Yeah, nice move here from Sheffield. What they're doing, Daniel, is they're passing the ball from one wing to the other, then the big guys are screening for each other, trying to slip one to the basket. Could well pay dividends for him. You don't leave that guy open.
Tuck with a very nice mid-range jump shot there. Well, good pass inside to Eves. He can't quite convert, but he is fouled. Well, this time last week, I was sat here talking to Jeff. We were down in Loughborough doing Sheffield against Leicester, and we were waxing lyrical about the fact that Leicester got 9 guys on the court in the first quarter. Jeff's done it this week. He's got 9 guys out there. Just shows the depth that he's got.
Like ice hockey, isn't he? He's gone through his entire second unit. But if you think about that play then, again, it was similar to Sheffield. You got Ben Eaves, big guy on one wing, goes to the opposite, and his teammate Mike Bernard sets the back screen for him, and Ben almost pulled it off. Almost had the 2 and the and 1.
Well, he will try and get 2 from the line. The first one is good. And this will stretch Manchester's lead to 5 with just under 50 seconds to go here, if he can make it, which he can't. And Lewis will take over the point guard duties for the Sharks.
Manchester's on a little zone now, so we'll see how Sheffield adjust.
Good hands from Jones to knock it loose. Callum Jones it was getting his hand on there, and he takes it to the hole for 2, gets the points at the other end.
Very good control move by Callum there. Stephen Gill intercepted, Callum broke down the lane. Easy 2.
And Jones finished off over Bridge as the Sharks trying to run this down. There is a slight differential between shot and game clock, but they should be able to waste most of the time. Holmes into that. Oh, he'll get his own rebound. He'll fire it back up. Oh, gets his own points. And Lewis with the steal. Lewis on the buzz. Oh, what a great play from Nick Lewis. Stole it away, and 4 points in about 4 seconds for the Sharks.
Manchester will be disappointed with that play for a number of reasons. One is they allowed Holmes to get the second attempt, and then after Holmes had scored, Nick Lewis sneaking in there and stealing the inbound ball. But that's just exactly what Sheffield needed to pull and close that gap just at the right time.
Yeah, tremendous finish to the first quarter by the Sheffield Sharks with 4 points in the last couple of seconds. It means we've reached the end of 1 here at the EIS. Giants leading by 2. We'll be back with the second quarter after this break. Welcome back to Sheffield. We played 10 minutes of this vital playoff game, and the one thing that leaps off the page for me statistically, Dave, 18 players on the court in the first quarter, both teams going 9 deep in the first quarter.
They certainly rotated and used the defence as well. The one that steps out for me, Daniel, is Manchester getting 10 assists, which is incredible for the first quarter. Shows their emphasis on team play.
10 assists off 23 points. That's virtually every score when you bear in mind the 3. Gill can't convert another 3.
Well, we're interested to look for now. Yes, Manchester are staying with that zone. I thought they would. I think they've figured out that the zone is the best way to handle this inside movement and desire to get to the basket that Sheffield was showing.
Shot doesn't quite go. Williams in. Williams again. He's had 2 attempts at it. They've just left the 2 wide open. Lewis hits the 3. If you give a team that many opportunities, they will score.
Yeah, well, one thing about the zone defense is if you're going to play zone, it does help you to defend the basket, but you've still got to be able to box out to take the rebounds. That's the second crucial second attempt for the Sharks.
Stolen away by Lewis, and Sheffield, who started a little slowly, mainly because they had a few shots rattle out as much as anything they were doing. In the lead now, 24 points to 23, looking to build on that here with Babalola. Great pass to Jemison, and he converts the 2. They just keep on attacking the basket. Manchester can't stop them.
They do, and from our point here, we're in direct line with the way they're running this. We see how well Manchester are protecting that basket, but they're not noticing where the players are off the ball, which is why Sheffield are getting behind them and taking the second attempts.
Jones. That's a moving screen by Bernard, just a little bump out of the way. And Jeff Jones arguing the case, but we're, 15 feet from that, watch him. Just a little hip check out. You can't do that.
No, you can't do that, absolutely. And, you know, that's the foul Mike won't want, and it's certainly one that Jeff won't want. No, interesting with this strategy with the zone here. But if Manchester are going to stay with this zone, they have to box out. They have to know where the offensive rebounders are coming from.
Oh, almost a steal there from Jones, but Jemison does keep it. Jemison along the baseline dumps it to Tuck, and Tuck is fouled. think he might be on the floor. We'll just wait and see what the referee gives him there. Yeah, he is on the floor, so it'll be a sideline ball, end-line ball probably.
Yeah, again, Daniel, what we can see from our advantage point here in direct line, we can see Sheffield's strategy against this zone now. It's purely down to the old-fashioned high-low. Flashing a guy up to the high post onto the free throw line and then looking for his mate who's going behind the defence. Very nice, simple high-low play. And there it is again.
And Jemison, no! Well, they could be 8 or 10 points clear if some of these shots just bobbled in instead of out.
Boy, if their percentage around the hoop was good, they'll be out in a 10-point lead by now.
Jones to George. George bounces it off to Watts. Jones to Jones. James fires in for 3.
That is what, the 4th catch and shoot off a difficult screen? Great shooting from the Manchester boys.
Levels the game at 26, 2.5 minutes into the second period. Williams. Lewis given some space. Watts with the rebound. Callum Jones, little stop and go, spins away, and a slap down from Lewis is called for a foul.
Yeah, easy call for the official. I think Callum there was looking for the spin move, not to get himself to the basket, but he was looking for the spin move to kick out to a shooter.
Nick Lewis sits down. BJ Holmes checks back in.
I think this is the right move, Danny, and I think Nick ticks the box. He got some baskets for them, but they do need BJ running the point for them right now.
Watts for 3, another one from behind the arc for the Manchester Giants.
Well, if I was Jeff Jones right now, I'd put down my coaching board and I'd just say to the guys, drive and kick.
Yeah. Holmes around the screen.
Yeah, the right call by Giants, going back to the man-to-man.
Babalola drives in. Good deflection by Watts. Tuck gets it off in time. Ball still bobbling about, and eventually Manchester do come down with it. Jones to Jones again. This time it's Callum with the lay-in.
Beauty of game of basketball. Sheffield pull back, go ahead, and Giants take a 6-point lead in basically, what, 30 seconds?
Tuck. Williams around the screen with a quick release. And fighting for it was Mike Tuck, but eventually Nick George came up with the loose ball.
Is Michael Williams on the score sheet yet?
Yes, he's got a couple of points.
Okay, I think they're going to really need a contribution from him, because right now the Manchester defense is signaling out where they think the points are going to come from.
Jones did well to recover there. Tuck had the lane. Tuck asking for a foul, not given one. Let's see if we can see anything on the replay. Oh, it's all ball, isn't it?
Yeah, good call by the officials. That was the beauty of the replay then. It was great defense, all absolutely clearly all ball.
But it will still be possession of the Sharks, which Andy Bridge will inbound. Gets it to Holmes. It's twice they've run that out of bounds play, and it's been so wide open, easy shot.
Yeah, hasn't he got a nice stroke as well? When he gets that free, you know where the ball's going, and it's almost like a layup for him.
Jones drives in, dumps off to Aliu, over to James Jones from behind the arc, not this time. Tuck with the rebound.
Definite strategy from Manchester here is look at the gaps, penetrate them, and kick out to shooters.
Well, they are 4 of 8 now after that 3-point miss from behind the arc. It has long been a threat for them. Tuck to the basket, but this appears to be a weakness for them. Cannot stop the penetration.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, both teams will be thinking about the importance of protecting the basket and defending the paint.
Jones inside to Watts. Watts trying to go to work. Dumps off. Callum Jones with the shot off the back of the ring. Kept alive by James Jones. Referees said that is a Sheffield ball. I couldn't see for Jeff Jones standing in front of us there. And a timeout been called by Jeff.
Well, the action replay.
Here's another look. Wait. hard to see who it came off last, but Aliou was arguing it was Babalola. Anyway, it's timeout call, 1-point game here, Dave.
I like the work our cameraman doing is showing that these referees are on form tonight. No, I think that Manchester have got a strategy. They're looking to penetrate any gaps. They've got enough shooters for that to pay off. And Sheffield are defending the basket well, and they're kicking out with the shooters where it's not so easy to recover. And Sheffield at the moment obviously have this strategy of trying to get against that. Manchester have changed back from the zone to man-to-man. Sheffield have gone back to the strategy of trying to get those big guys going to the basket off screens.
Well, certainly Sheffield have been very effective in attacking the basket, and actually they've had a few where they've just bobbled out. They could have had an even better profit from that play. Manchester have got to, whether it's in the man or whether it's in the zone, two things they need to do defensively. One is stop the penetration, but also offensive rebounds. Sheffield already with 8 offensive rebounds. They've got to do a better job of keeping Sheffield from getting those second chance opportunities.
Yeah, and I think it was the zone that defended the penetration into the paint the best, but it was also the zone that was the weakest in giving up those offensive rebounds.
Tuck, Bridge, Babalola down low, trying to back in on Watts, does well but didn't have enough on the shot, and Aliou grabs the rebound. Jones to Bailey. Aliou wants it down in the low block. Bailey fires up for 3, it's short, and Gachet with the rebound. Jeff Jones turn around, big exhale there. He was obviously not very happy with that last play, just had to calm himself down.
Well, I think it was a good shot to take. Devon didn't get himself into it though, did he? There was no follow through and he didn't really attack the basket.
Oh, what a beautiful pass from Babalola to Bridge.
I mean, credit for Babalola seeing that pass, but that's Andrew Bridge. I've seen him do this for a million years, slipping behind the defense. If he sees his man turn his head, he's straight to that basket.
Aliou kicks it round to Bailey, drives in, fires up, too long on it. Aliou again on the offensive glass, rebound grabbed by Bridge.
Yeah, that was when Manchester really did need the extra pass, because that was a very tough shot for Devon to take.
Bridge drives in and he draws the foul from Watts. And I think they almost might have preferred a play on there, because he made a great pass to Tuck, who was open underneath.
Yeah, you often wonder, don't you, about the advantage rule in basketball, but obviously that whistle goes, then you have to bring it back.
I mean, there's a definite little push foul, but look, maybe Aliou would have recovered if he hadn't heard the whistle. Holmes kicks it to Tuck, sets his feet from behind the arc, doesn't quite go. Another offensive rebound, Jemison in there, and that's really been a killer for them. That's now 9 second chance points for the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was the best shot for Mike Tuck to take, but he may have had it in mind that the way they are getting in and taking the offensive rebounds.
Good pass to Tuck. Jemison had his head away from the ball, so didn't see it coming. And it was laid in for a couple. Still only a point between the two teams here with less than 3 to play in the first half. Sharks just edging it at the moment. Bridge drives in and he draws the foul from James Jones.
I think that was a smart play by Andrew Bridge, and that he knew he was going nowhere, and he decided, well, I may as well go for this and see whether I get the call.
And he will go to the line for a couple of free throws now.
I think this last spell, the offenses on both teams have been doing a better job than the defenses. And I know there was a lot of talk before the game about the importance of defense, and I think the coaches need to re-emphasize that, because otherwise this is going to become a high-scoring game.
Well, we've already mentioned the fact that somewhere around 83 points is the average score of a BBL team this season, and another offensive rebound. Tuck with the head fake, blocked by Watts. Another offensive rebound, scores at the 3rd attempt.
I mean, not only was that impressive with Mike Tuck staying after his job there, but as soon as he realized he couldn't go over the guy, he did a step around him. That really good footwork on that play. Again, Manchester running a lot of exchanges here to try and get shooters open.
Foul called against Bridge.
This word exchange, Daniel, is becoming a big one in modern basketball. Sometimes, if you guys are quick enough, they can get open without the screen. And the advantage of getting open without the screen is it's easy to set your feet for the shot.
Here's Jones, drives in, kicks back out to Watts. Good ball movement, finds Bailey. Bailey, little crossover, finger roll is thrown out. No reset of the shot clock. George has got to shoot it, and I think he walked with it. Let's see what the official says. Yes, traveling violation, but what a block that was from Gachette.
It was absolutely, it was a great block, and it was also really good offense by Manchester. Maybe they didn't need that drive to the basket because Devon was wide open for the shot.
It's worth a third look, that. What a throw out that one is. And just while we were watching that replay, Jeff Jones was given a warning by the official, no more chatter or he will face a technical foul. I think he was arguing. I don't know whether he thought it might be a goaltend or something. It certainly wasn't on the replay.
Well, Sheffield, and in particular Mike Tuck, sense that the basket area is theirs again, don't they? I don't think Sheffield have taken an outside shot for a while. I think everything they're doing right now is to try and get in and get those easy 2 points around the basket.
Well, Ben Eves is going to check back on the floor. There's just a bit of a damp patch which is being wiped up. I thought at first it might be for Dave Aliu because he came sort of gingerly out of that exchange, but it's Dave Watts who's sitting down. Aliu, though, certainly showing some effects from that back problem. He's knocked away, good hands from Bridge to come up with it. Sheffield can add to their lead here. Jemison out on the break. Never, you've got to pick him up out on the fast break. That's way too easy.
Yeah, I mean, they broke every rule there of transition defense. Nobody went in to challenge the guy who got the rebound. They didn't fill the middle of the floor, ready to protect the basket, and Sheffield took full advantage. But credit to Jemison for seeing he could get ahead of the defense, and a great pass on the elite pass in the transition.
Well, Jeff Jones turned straight to the table as soon as that pass was made and said, I need a timeout here, needs to stop the game. This game has drifted away. 8 points in the context of what's gone before is a pretty big lead.
It is, and Sheffield, I'm sure that if we could see the replays of the last few baskets, we'd find that everything Sheffield do now is getting in to get those 2 points around the basket. I still think that Manchester are creating the good looks. They're just not taking them or making them.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you had the ability to look at the shot chart as we can here on our stats, is all of it in and around the key. They've got maybe 8 or 9 shots outside of the painted area, and that's been huge for Sheffield. They've been able to get to the basket, they've been able to score inside, and that's really been the key factor for them. And in some ways, it's just been about simple stuff, attacking the basket. 30 points in the paint out of 41.
Yeah, Sheffield's strategy clear at the moment, quite rightly so. I think the Giants are not scoring when they get to Sheffield's basket. They've got to get some shooters in who'll knock down some big shots for them right now.
And the interesting thing is, it's obviously a higher percentage shot in the lane, but they've also managed to get all those offensive rebounds as Eve scores at the other end, which gave them second. And a lot of the times, the offensive rebounds, aside from the tuck three-pointer, have been off close-range shots anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, as I was thinking there, as you mentioned that, yeah, you can't win anything without defense. You can't win anything if you don't rebound, but you do need in this modern game to be able to knock down shots at times like this when they're having a scoring slump.
Here's George. George driving in, throws it away. Bridge got in the way. Gachette, look, 2 on none out on the break, and they just gave up a bit too quickly there. Manchester didn't get back on D.
No, they didn't, and I think they were all standing there appealing to the referee too much that Nick George had been fouled when he went to the basket, but no whistle, no foul.
And no foul, no whistle to do it the other way around as well. That's a good no call by the officials. Bridge did catch George. He defended him all the way out, just went a little too far on that one.
It's interesting they're putting Andrew Bridge on Nick George, giving away a few inches there, but doing a terrific job. And he's certainly not backing away from the physical challenge.
Nick George then to the free throw line with 26.5 seconds left in the first half. An important couple of freebies here. What they'll want is knock these two down, get a stop, and get into the locker room, hopefully only down 6.
I mean, you're good at these things, Daniel, but my guess is now with Gachette on the floor, we've pretty much gone through the entire rosters on both teams.
Almost. We're almost there. There's still one guy on either team who's yet to check in.
So it's still only a 7-point game, so there's nobody going to go into the second half tired. Going to be interesting second half to look forward to.
Holmes running it right down. There is a little gap between shot and game. Second and a half maybe. Here's Gachette, wide open in the corner. Doesn't quite go. Bridge making a nuisance of himself, and it's tipped out of bounds. There is less than a second to go here in the first half. 0.8. So they might be able to throw one, but it will be a Hail Mary. It's thrown towards Ali. He's not going to have time to catch and turn round. I don't think that would have counted even if it had gone in, but a very good half of basketball. Very entertaining, very enjoyable. Manchester with some work to do at the defensive end, you would say, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the early momentum was with Manchester, and I thought they were doing it from a team aspect. But right now, it is their defense has to pick up. I mean, as I watch the players walk off, the one young man who can go off with a bit of pride there, if Gachette had just made that last shot, what an end to the quarter that would have been for him. Great block, breakaway dunk, and if he could have finished that by nailing that shot down, then he would have been a very happy young man going into that Sheffield dressing room.
Well, I would suggest there's probably a few happy men going into that Sheffield dressing room. They've edged this first half by 7 here at EIS. We'll be back with the third quarter right after this break. Well, welcome back to Sheffield, where Manchester are first out of the half-time break, ready to go, and doubtless Coach Jeff Jones will be talking to his team about rebounding, about points in the paint, about denying Sheffield.
Yeah, I mean, from the team aspect, 11 offensive rebounds by the Sharks in the first half, leading to 13 second chance points, was absolutely big for them. The standout individual performer from me in the first half was Mike Tuck, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Are Manchester out of this? Not if they can get the shooters going. They've got Stephen Gill, James Jones and David Watts who can score in a hurry. Let's see whether they can do it.
Well, it's Sheffield who have the possession arrow in their favour at the start of this second half, so they get the first attack of this third quarter. Babalola penetrates, kicks out. Williams had a very quiet first half, struggling to get his shots to go. 1 of 7 now.
Yeah, Manchester look like they may have switched to a 3-2 zone there. See whether they can control the boards.
Dave Watts stepping out of bounds. It's amazing how much more regularly that has happened since they extended the 3-point line.
Yeah, I mean, it was even at the Olympics, wasn't it, where they're regularly stepping out of bounds. No, I think that last defense was to fool us. They're into the man-to-man.
Holmes, double team jumps out at him. Bit of a gamble from George, and he was made to pay by Jemison. Went for the steal, didn't get anywhere near it, got it jammed.
No, a guy that big spinning that quickly to the basket is always going to convert that. Yeah.
Sharks by 9. Bailey under. Well, he was a bit fortunate to get that to Aliou. I don't know what Aliou was waiting for, but he allowed Holmes to get in and foul him when he could have had an easy 2.
I mean, I can only think that the whole of the players stood there wondering if the official was going to make a call, whether it had gone over the end line, what I don't know. But I mean, David Aliou just got on with the game, and he's earned a bonus for himself. He's on the line, exactly what Manchester needed. Chance to get some points on the board.
Well, I just think he could have got points on the board before Holmes got anywhere near him. He was that open, but as long as he makes them from the free throw line, that's, I guess, all that matters.
Certainly shot the nice one with good form, first one with good form.
And the second as well. Holmes pressured up court by Bailey. 7-point Sharks lead here early in the second half. Williams trying to get to the basket, still can't convert under pressure. Rebound pulled in by Watts. Bailey with the bounce pass to Jones. Aliou fakes at the 3, dumps it off to James Jones, who hits from the corner.
There we are, one of those 3 guys we identified can do things in a hurry. You know, Sheffield running plays again, trying to get Michael Williams open, but at the moment Mike is just not able to convert the chances they're creating for him.
Bailey is called for a foul. And the interesting thing about that is Coach Lyons was arguing that Bailey maybe committed a foul further up the court. So the referee then is going to be watching it. So any sort of contact is going to be called. As a player, you've got to know to step back at that situation.
Yeah. I think, you know, there's a point to pressure and a point not to pressure. B.J. Holmes is a competent ball handler. I think Devin Bader's got to think a little bit more about containment rather than trying to steal this ball off him.
Nice play from B.J. Holmes. Find that little gap, and once he gets that first step, he's hard to stop.
Very good penetration.
Aliu squares up Tuck. Now goes the other way, steps under. Good defense from Tuck, but Aliu is there, and eventually Tuck does deny him and pull down the rebound. Holmes has Olu Babalola with him, and he lays it in.
B.J. Holmes right now is taking the ball right at the heart of this Manchester defence, and it's paid off for him twice in a row. That time a really nice assist on the dish to Olu Babalola.
Good hands from Tuck, knocked it loose, it bounced off Babalola, and then Tuck came up with it. Sheffield very much with the momentum here at the start of the second half.
They're owning this start, and Manchester need just to slow down a little bit and get some composure into their offence.
Jemison under all sorts of pressure, kicks it out to Holmes. Holmes fires up for three, not quite. Tuck trying to go after the offensive rebound, kind of went over the top of Bailey and called for the foul.
Yeah, but from Manchester's perspective there, Daniel, that really was good protection of the basket. Each and every one of three guys boxed out made it difficult for Sheffield to take the offensive ball on that occasion.
Williams sits down and Lewis checks in for him. Mika Williams having his struggles today. Not quite at the usual high level of offense that we see him on most occasions. 1 of 8 shooting.
Yeah, Nick Lewis is a genuine outside threat, so not a bad substitution.
Aliu going strong is fouled by Jemison, and Dave Aliu little frustrated that he didn't convert that and be going to the line for a three-point play. He felt he should have scored here.
Probably, I can understand his frustration, but he's got his reward for his hard work and very good footwork. David has got really, really good footwork around the basket.
And certainly on his last trip to the free throw line, good form on the foul line. As soon as I say that, he fires one short.
It's a kiss of death, isn't it?
It is. Say nothing, it's always the better option. He knocks down the second. Giants still hanging about here, trailing by 7. Tuck. He's very effective from that sort of free throw line, 16 feet.
Yeah, the difference there is they've run that play twice for Micah Williams, who's taken the handoff and tried to penetrate. Every other time they've run that play, the handoff has gone to a wide open outside shot.
Bailey, nice shot for 2. Lewis. Still 7 points between them. Screens right and left. He goes left, back to Jemison. Babalola trying to get himself free. Now he goes to work on Tuck. Good block from behind by George.
Excellent, excellent defense by Nick George.
Lobbed up towards Watt, and he did well to finish that off. It was slightly out of his reach.
His arms seem to grow. He's got long enough arms anyway, but no, well done, David Watts. Control that very difficult pass to control it great on one hand.
Good play from George in the first place to get it, and then you just see Watts finishing that off.
So obviously Sheffield really feel there's some good mileage in this play. They're playing what's known as a horns play, bringing the 2 big guys up to set screens on the elbows and running all sorts of cutters off that, trying to get them open looks.
Babalola getting a breather with Bridge to inbound to Tuck. Trying to back down, kicks it round, Jemison. Lewis. Bridge in the corner, nice shot from 19 feet.
I think I've seen Andrew Bridge take that corner shot so many times in his career, and he took that really coolly, well knocked down. This high screen play for the Sharks is paying off right now.
Lewis wants it in George wants it in the low post, and Bridges called for the holding foul on him.
Yeah, Atiba going to have to think that. I think Bridges done a great job for Atiba in his defence of Nick George, but they have to rethink now because that's their 4th team foul with still 5:20 to go in the quarter.
It's also Bridges' 3rd personal foul.
So he immediately switches matchups. Smart play by the players on making the decision on the floor.
Aliu with a little turnaround, not quite. Rebound pulled in by Mike Tuck. He's into double-double territory now with 14 and 10. Foul is called on George, just trying to knock that one loose.
Yeah, I mean, watching that replay, both big guys flashing up to the elbows to set those screens. I see no reason why Sheffield need to change their strategy at the moment. This play is working for them big time.
Lewis drives in, fires up off the glass for 2. Nice finish.
Nearly every one of Sheffield's points this quarter has come from some connection with those 2 high screens.
Bailey skips around to Gill, and Jones underneath. Good pass from Gill to find him cutting to the hole.
Superfield, Superfield, yeah, kick in by Stefan, but well taken by James Jones, and he's left-handed, so that was a perfect pass for him.
Lewis round the screen, gets it to Jemison. Jemison, soft touch.
Every point, Daniel, from this play. Why change it?
Well, until they can stop you, you just keep running it. Bailey off the glass for 2. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Strong move from Devon Bailey there, just what Manchester needed to get the points clocking up on the scoreboard again. And the bonus is he's going to the line for the and 1.
Chance to cut it back to 6 here. 4 minutes to go. Just over in the 3rd period. Vital game in the battle for playoffs. Sheffield have had the upper hand for large periods. Manchester started the game brightly, but you still get a sense that there's a few more twists and turns in this one. That'll be a kickball violation against Dave Aliu, and the shot clock will be reset to 14.
Not having a look inside, so I think if Manchester are going to have a run back into this game, it's going to come from their outside game rather than their inside game.
Lewis gets it back from Holmes. Nick Lewis, all string for 3.
When you have 2 3-point shooters shooting as well as those 2 are at the moment in the backcourt, it's difficult for the Manchester defence to adjust.
Sharks lead into double figures for the first time this evening. Nick George makes that short-lived as he cuts it down to 8.
Tough shot to take, but he made it. Well under control, didn't take his eyes off the basket. Very good shooting form from Nick George.
Tuck spins, finds a little gap. Will that count? Referee yet to signal. Will he give that basket? Yes, he will, for Mike Tuck inside, caught on the arm.
I think to a man there, the Manchester team were being referees and signalling the travel call, but I think the referees got that one right.
Good finish from Mike Tuck. He's up to 16 now, leads all scorers. He's also got 11 boards, leads all rebounders as well. Shooting a tick over 50% from the floor, a good all-round game from the veteran Tuck.
That's his first point of the half, but he has, you're right, he's been a significant factor in this quarter.
And he converts the 3-point play. Lead out to 11, biggest of the game. Jones. Cross court to Gill. Gill with a little head fake, trying to drive past Holmes. Gets it to Jones. Long 2, doesn't quite go. Batted up in the air by Lewis. Batted down by Babalola. And knocked out of bounds by Callum Jones. It will be a Sheffield ball.
Good interior defense by the Sharks there, who were determined not to give up anything at all around the paint, which meant Stefan Gill had to throw the baseline drift pass, and I thought just for a second there Jones was going to knock that one down.
Manchester coming with a little up-court pressure here. It's into Holmes. Gill applying the pressure full court. Only just got that over the halfway line in time, and once again the horn set. Babalola, Lewis. Babalola. Whoa, tough shot. I mean, you see him do it all the time. Doesn't make it any easier.
That was a big shot, big shot. I mean, you can see the strategy was to try and get that ball into tuck, and Manchester defended that well. Second one in a row.
George replies with an equally good shot at the other end.
Go out and put the cross on the floor right there.
Tuck with the spin, good hands from Eves to knock it loose. George puts it behind his back and Callum Jones's, James Jones's back there. Then he tried, oh, Babalola's come up hobbling. He needs some help. The referee does stop the game. And Babalola, I didn't quite see what happened. He's obviously got, oh, it's his other ankle, is it? He seems to be clutching. Didn't see what happened, but he's pounding the floor. Let's see if we can see just as he comes down. Couldn't quite see it, whether he landed on Gill and just twisted the ankle slightly.
No, I think the way he's gone there for his right ankle, I think, suggests that is the injury, and it's not a cramp situation.
Let's have another look here from this angle, see if we can see it. It's as he comes down here. Well, can't see it because of Bridges in the way, but it would look like it might have been he landed on Steph Gill and just sort of rolled his ankle slightly, perhaps.
Yeah, but what the replay did show was that intended behind the back pass from Nick George to the Manchester Giant player cutting behind the defence. How well Sheffield got back and covered that middle.
Well, he's tightened up the laces and he's going to try and hobble off, and hopefully it's just one of them where you get a quick tweak and a couple of minutes and it's okay, but certainly the way he's hobbling off, it looks like it might be a little worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's well taped and the tape has taken the brunt of the twist, and he will be okay.
We'll keep an eye on that one, but Babalola at the minute has gone to the bench. 9 points to his name thus far, and of course he just hit that good shot just a moment or so ago. It's actually an 8-second violation. They didn't get it over the halfway line, and the problem was because they had all that delay, they kind of forgot that they'd already used up, I think it was 5 of the 8 seconds or 6 of the 8 seconds to cross the halfway line.
Yeah, well spotted, because I was wondering what that call was for, but obviously, clearly, he hadn't noticed how much time had gone off the 8-second clock.
Got to get it across the halfway line within 8 seconds of gaining possession. And of course, the slight delay to Babalola, everybody forgot. Here's Holmes. Bridge, too long on his three. Eves with an easy rebound.
Well, just over a minute and a half, just under a minute and a half to go, and I think we're going to agree that Sheffield are still in the ascendancy in this game.
Gill. Around the screen. Gill drives in, dumps off to Bernard, has it ripped loose, and it'll be interesting to see if that Babalola injury, if he isn't able to come back, has any real effect on it. But I would agree with you, definitely the Sharks in the ascendancy, not only in the scoreboard, but in the way they're playing.
Yeah, and in those last two defenses have shown how well they're defending their own paint.
And they certainly, if they can keep feeding Mike Tuck inside, they'll be in good shape the way he's playing here today. Good hands from Jemison. Fortunately for the Giants, there's Callum Jones. James Jones from behind the arc for three. They needed that.
I think that was nearer to the halfway line than behind the arc. NBA range, but big shot just when they needed it. Pulls it back to a 10-point game. If Giants can go into this quarter break on single digits, they still have a chance.
Tuck drives in. Tuck, he's feeling it right now. Every time he gets the ball, he feels like he can score.
He is probably, what, 6 points this quarter, but contribution immense.
Manchester can tick this down inside the final few seconds here of this third period. Gill drives in, a bit high for Jones. Jones has to shoot. Jones on the buzzer, halfway down and out. And another good quarter for the Sheffield Sharks. They've taken their lead. They've built on it here in this third period, and they look in a great place going into the final 10 minutes, Dave.
Yeah, they really do. I think they're defending their own basket. They're protecting their own basket well. Everything about their strategy on defense is to protect that basket. It's playing off for them. They've been patient in offense. They've found a player they like. They've found a player that's causing Manchester problems, and they're sticking with it. To me, the only way for Manchester in this game is more of a catch and shoot.
Well, Manchester with some work to do here, and only 10 minutes to do it. Olu Babalola twisted his ankle in that period. We'll keep an eye to see if he can come back. We'll have the fourth quarter when we return. Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks looking in good shape here, leading as they do by 12. The one little blot on their copybook, the injury to Olu Babalola, who's been getting his ankle iced, which would suggest he may not return here today. Let's hope it's not too serious and he can be back in action for them shortly, because of course they've got a trophy semi-final on the horizon. They'd want to be at full strength for that.
Yeah, he's an important player for them. Let's hope that the injury isn't serious and he's able to either come back in this game or recover well for them for the next time the Sharks take to the court.
Bernard with the old veteran hook once again. I was just checking his Eves hit the deck. He seems to be okay. He's back to his feet.
Yeah, Sheffield starting off where they left from the final quarter, defending their basket really well.
Williams drives in, draws the contact from Bernard, and Mika Williams will go to the line, shoot a couple.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester did a much better job. They cut down second points in the third quarter, but still Sheffield are increasing their points in the paint by 10. Manchester still moving the ball well, got 15 assists. There's the real chance for them to move that ball and hit outside shots.
First free throw is good. It's his first trip to the line. He's had 6 rebounds, 4 of them at the offensive end, despite his struggles from the floor.
See, Manchester shooting 50% from the three-point line. So there's, they can stick a few quick threes up. There's a chance for them. Here's the first one.
And it goes in. Steph Gill from behind the arc.
If your team's shooting 50% from the three-point line and you're not scoring inside, it's a strategy you've got to take a real look at.
Well, Manchester are second in the league in terms of three-pointers made. They're about mid-table in percentages. Lewis, long two, knocks it down.
He's playing well.
He is playing well.
He's playing well. He's spelling BJ Holmes, giving him valuable rest. He covered for Michael Williams in that
Gill
last
again.
quarter.
Oh, not quite. Tuck can only get a hand to it. Eves has it. When he made that first, you thought the second one was going in there. Out to Jones, driving through, and there you see the difference between the two Jones brothers, because if that was James at the top, he'd have shot that wide open three. Callum likes to attack the basket.
Yeah, that needed to be James, because if you saw Sheffield's strategy there, it was to have everybody around the basket. Manchester have got a chance here if they can knock some down some threes. Might even consider it's time to bring David Watts back in.
Here's Callum Jones, again looking to drive in, kicks out to his brother, thinks about the shot. James now takes it to the rack. He can drive too, and big Mike Bernard in there with the finish.
Yeah, powerful move, used the body well to protect the ball. No doubt where that basket was going to end up. That shot was going to end up in the basket.
Fired up, doesn't quite go. Jones and Eves closest to it, and it's a Manchester rebound. Gill. Lewis right up against him. Cross court, finds to James Jones, and he hits from behind the arc. And you said they needed some threes. They've hit a couple of threes here early in the fourth, and the Sharks lead is down to only 8.
Well, Sheffield, great job defensively so far. Right now, they have surrendered the three-point line to Manchester. They're saying you are not going to score in and around our basket. Here's the three-point line, and that is the best answer to give them. Really think Matt Jeff should think about maybe time for David Watts to be out there as well.
Well, Atiba Lions calls a timeout. 73-65, the Sharks lead the Giants. Jeff Jones talking to his team here as they're trying to get back into this game. And before we talk about the game, interesting piece of news coming out of Manchester today. They've signed a deal, a partnership with the Sports for All centres, gives them 4 ball halls in that area for the young kids to come and play. And the one thing we know about this Manchester Giants team, so many of these kids have come from Manchester specifically, the Northwest more generally. The Giants signing up to have all these venues in the greater Manchester area just gives a great new pathway for the kids of Manchester to make it through to the Giants.
Yeah, it's great news for that area of Manchester. I mean, I know that area reasonably well. The ball hall idea started many years ago there with the Stockport one. I think great coup for the Manchester Giants, showing their commitment to developing their own players in the future and their commitment to the community in their area.
It certainly is. It promises to be win-win all round. We're always talking about venues and we kind of get lost in thinking about venues at the elite level for the top teams, but actually for the kids to play is even more important, if you like, as Mika Williams is called for an offensive push-off.
Yeah, it's not Mika Williams' best game tonight. I mean, I think he's doing a good job defensively, and he's certainly part of that Sheffield strategy of defending around the basket. But he just needs to take a little bit more care with his decisions in the offensive end of the floor.
Well, Manchester seem to have wrestled the momentum in the last couple of minutes. Eves gets his own rebound. Can they continue it, though? Trying to go up inside, and eventually he's fouled by Jemison, and he'll go to the line for 2. If he makes these, Dave cuts it back to 6.
He doesn't. Manchester are making a statement, Daniel. They've made the statement that we're prepared to challenge you. If you're going to give us that 3-point shot, we'll find our shooters. But Ben Eves there really stayed big time with that to try and get that 2 points from his offensive rebounding efforts.
Oh, got to make free throws in the 4th quarter, though. These are key. Especially when you've got a little bit of momentum to chip away. He does at least get 1.
Yeah, I mean, a quick look at the stats, Daniel. Free throw shooting has not been the greatest asset to either team tonight. Both teams shooting under 60% from the free throw line.
Top. Good hands from Jones to knock it loose, but Williams keeps control of it. Williams knocks one down from the free throw line.
That was a tough shot, but I was really impressed with Jones's defense on him there, because they've read this high screen well, and they really challenged the guy who took the handoff.
Eves to the hole again. He almost threw it off the backboard to himself. Jones to Jones, on to Gill, open for 3. Tuck tried to close him out. Tuck did a good job to get his hand there in his face. And Bridge with the rebound.
Yeah, great ball movement. With the heat of the moment there, Stephen Gill will look back that play and realise he had a shot fake and drive.
Here's Tuck. Tuck squares up. Shot doesn't go. Unusual for him today. Most of his shots have gone. Holmes in amongst the big boys draws the foul.
Playing like a big guy as well, isn't he? Trying to create the space for himself to score inside. This guy's deadly from the line. Is that the kiss of death? he really is good shooter from the line.
I'll let you do it rather than me there, Dave.
Okay, BJ's going to make both these shots.
He is currently in the 90s free throw shooting this season, 51 of 56 coming into this game. Amazingly, though, he doesn't lead the league in free throw shooting. Drew Lasker just a tick ahead of him, but trying to catch him up and overtake him there with another 2. Bernard. Cross court, Eves, long shot, rattles in for 2. Manchester still trying to cut into this lead.
Ben Eves showing some range. But again, nice pass by Mike Bernard.
Oh, nice drive by BJ Holmes to the basket. And what I like there is the way he got his body in the way to kept the ball away from the defender, make sure it could only be a foul.
Yeah, it's a good move by BJ. His penetration at the moment is certainly a good weapon for the Sharks.
Holmes then, once again at the free throw line. And I think he was having a conversation with Demetrius Jameson while he was going through his routine. He's certainly talking to somebody. But when you're as automatic as that from the free throw line, it doesn't matter.
That's confidence for you, isn't it? Didn't let us down at all. Predicted he would make them more than he has.
Eve. Nice. Eve's starting to heat up a little bit.
He is a factor right now, isn't he? Big factor right now.
Tuck. Hands it back to Williams. Cross to Bridge. Oh, important shot for Bridge in the corner. Stretches the lead back out to double figures with 5 to play.
Yeah. Well executed play.
Oh, Bernard with the air ball. Jones with the save, though. There'll be no reset of the shot clock. Bernard trying to go a little closer this time, and he gets the soft roll in off the backboard.
Yeah, that's like, isn't he? Big man, he's mainly right-handed, but he got turned there and created the advantage by using his weaker hand and scored. Well done, good play, Mike.
Holmes for 3. Oh, what a shot from BJ Holmes.
What a quick release. What a quick release and a nice stroke. Textbook shooting there from BJ Holmes.
Bernard spins baseline, blocked by either Jemison or Tuck. They were both in there. Tuck gets it out to Williams. Williams knocked away by Gill, and it came off Williams last. So that will be a great defensive play by Steph Gill, just when it looked like an easy 2 point.
Yeah, it was. Terrific chasing back. Never gave up on the play, but I was impressed by Jemison's defense there for the Sharks. I think he's taken up a lot of space on that defensive end of the floor and doing a really good job in bothering the Manchester bigs.
We'll be back with more fourth quarter action after this break.
Mike Tuck trying to G up the crowd here at the EIS. This is a massive game in the battle for playoff places. Will really put Sheffield in the box seat as far as their fight with Manchester goes, but obviously it's a 5-way battle for playoff places, and as that one bobbles in for 2.
Yeah, we evidence there and see how far Sheffield pushed the defense out on that one. So Sheffield is saying to Manchester, we're not going to sit back and defend the paint now. We're going to come out and put real pressure on perimeter.
Holmes, tough shot. Oh, it's Jemison who's got the offensive rebound and puts it back. They've not been as dominant on the offensive glass in the second half as they were in the first, but that was an important one.
Yeah, it was an important one. It was a lucky break, I think, more than anything else. But again, look how high Sheffield are pushing this defense out and how much pressure they're putting on the perimeter.
George driving to the hole. I think that might be BJ Holmes reaching in. No, in fact, it is on the original defender, Jemison, who's been called for it. His 4th personal foul now with 3:13 to go. Is there any movement on the Sheffield bench? No, but of course, with Olu injured, that means they might have to take this gamble.
Exactly, and Nick George just knocked down a big shot, so I think they have to leave him out there. I don't think they've any choice. If they had Olu Babalolo, then we know that switch would have happened.
Tuck, oh, just lost it for a second, but Williams grabbed it back. Oh, Tuck, double dribble is the call. He sort of faked at the pass to Bridge and then went for the dribble, and the referee said that's illegal.
You should take up coaching, Daniel. That's exactly who did it. It was a fake dribble handoff play. Nearly came off as well.
Well, Tuck nods his head in disagreement, but it's certainly one of those where it kind of looks illegal, and that's probably all that matters. Gill drives in, explodes up, doesn't quite go. Bernard underneath gets the rebound out to James Jones for 3, a little bit short. This time it's Bridge who hauls it in.
I don't think James really controlled that on a clean catch. I think that was a difficult shot for him to take. Jeff signaling a timeout. Obviously wants to reinforce his strategy in these last 2 minutes.
Oh, Jemison from 18 feet again. High pick and roll, kick back to the open man. He knocks it down. We've seen a lot of this.
That play's been big for them. Double screen at the top for the big guys. They've played it well. The perimeter players have used it well. And I thought at one period Manchester were going to get to grips with that play, but that just seems to have swung the ascendancy right now, right back in Sheffield's favour.
Well, as trailed by Dave, a timeout called. We can see Babalola definitely not coming back into this game. Let's just hope it's not too serious. As I say, Cheshire awaiting a two-leg trophy semi-final for Atiba Lions. And whilst we've been talking about the playoff battle all the way through, that will be in the back of their minds, that they've a chance to reach a major final.
Yes, it will. I mean, they've got a major chance here to win the head-to-head over Manchester. They've got games in hand on everybody else in that pack. So this is going to be a big night for them, and it will give them confidence for certain going into that double-leg semi-final against the Cheshire Phoenix.
Well, 2 minutes and some change to go here at the EIS. Manchester in a 12-point hole. They need points. They need them quickly. Gill gets it to Eves. Must make, really, and does make from behind the arc for three. It's into single figures.
That's his second, isn't it? Second from that exact spot. So I think Ben stepping out onto the perimeter has just created an extra dimension for the Manchester offense at the moment. But they've got to get to grips with this high screen play. There it is, run again. And there was your fake handoff, executed beautifully.
Out to Bridge to reply with three of his own. What a shot from Bridge, and that could be the dagger for the Giants.
Super play.
Gill. George spins baseline and it bobbles in.
A very athletic move there. Quick spin, straight to the hoop. Statement made by Nick George on that move.
Holmes. Cross court to Bridge. Bridge penetrates under pressure. Bridge gets it off. Doesn't quite go. Might get his own rebound. No, Jemison gets it instead. And Jemison lays it in. And another vital offensive rebound.
Yeah, and another spark play from the Sharks as well. I mean, I was trying to work out how Bridge is getting that play at the other side, but they're actually setting a screen for him on the weak side block and throwing the skip pass right over the top of the defense. Not something, you know, you see very often, but very effective tonight.
Well, substitution made with Callum Jones, but with a minute to go and 12 points behind, it might not be enough. This has to go in. It does go in. They still keep hitting threes.
Wow.
They haven't got the stops to go with them.
What a big time shot.
And Sheffield looking to run some times down. See, even on that Horns play, didn't go. Oh, Tuck didn't see it. He did in the end. Stolen away by James Jones. They need a three, though. Good foul. Good foul. Make sure he can't get a three-point shot off. I mean, they are over the limit, so it will be 2 free throws, but...
Good play, and they stopped it. They put him on the line. He can't take the three. He can only make 2 shots from this. Got to defend the rebound, look after the ball, and this should be Sheffield's game.
Even better foul now that he's missed a free throw. Second one is good. They're going to come in foul mode here. On Bridge, I think he just caught one in the face there from James Jones. Don't think it was deliberate, but he just going after the ball, trying to commit the quick foul. Caught one in. Let's see if we can see on this replay. Just there. It's
There's no intent in that play at all.
They're not even over the limit here, so it's not shots, it's possession.
No intent, and credit to James Jones. He certainly hasn't given this game up. His work rate's been phenomenal. He's hit some big threes for them. Good game tonight for James Jones.
Five three-pointers for Jones, 5 for 7 from behind the arc for his team high 19 points. But Bridge will go to the free throw line. First one doesn't go. Shooting 88% from the line this season. That only his 4th miss from that distance. Gill drives in hard, fires up, converts for 2. Tuck can run some clock here. And does manage to take a few seconds off. 7 points still between them. You would think it's beyond them, but they're still playing hard. 7 down, 21 seconds to go. In some ways, it doesn't change the scenario whether Tuck makes all of these free throws or none of them. They still need 3 scores. It just means they need 3 3-pointers instead of 2 and a 2.
If he makes this one, it makes it hard to trade 3 for 2s.
He doesn't make it. They go, oh, that'll just be kept in by George. George is going to have to fire one up. He does fire it up for 3. He's blocked by Jemison, and that will do it. We said at the beginning of the game, a massive playoff battle between 2 teams fighting for postseason places, and it's Sheffield who come out on top. Great win for the Sharks, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great win. Gives them the 2 points. They've got the head-to-head. They've got an important semi-final coming up. They'll be well pleased with tonight's work. I think the keys were how well they defended and protected their basket and how well they ran that high screen and roll play.
Great game, great win for the Sharks. It's finished here at the EIS. Sheffield 95, Manchester 87. Well, Atiba, a tremendous victory. What are your thoughts on that one?
I thought we played really well in the second and third quarter, especially. Fourth quarter, when their back was against the wall, they hit some tough shots, but we also did do a good job of executing what we've been doing all game. But, on the offense end, we came back and responded with some points because it could have easily got out of control. But we were able to set them down, hitting free throws and just making appropriate plays. So I was pleased with that.
And first off, I thought you were brilliant on the offensive glass. You also attacked the basket very well.
But that's one thing I think we were trying to take away from that Leicester game. I thought we were a little complacent, a little placid at times where, they're a good defensive team, but we also didn't help ourselves by playing lazy on offense and not being sharp. So this week in practice, really work on just being aggressive, and even if it's just screening and cutting, just being more aggressive through the clock. And
you got some good performances from all down the lineup, but Mike Tuck, a tremendous double-double.
Yeah, Tuck responded well. Again, he had a tough game last week, so I know it was on his mind to bounce back from that. He's been our leader all season, and he's my captain, and, he did a good job tonight.
And Babalola looked in a lot of pain there. Any update on that ankle injury?
Well, it's an ongoing thing. He's had that issue with his ankle for a season now, so we're going to just watch it and see how it goes forward, but I think he should be back pretty soon.
And were you a little concerned at the end there? They were hitting a lot of threes.
Every coach is always concerned. Even if you're up 20, if a team hits that many threes in a row, you kind of start, thinking about strategically how you're going to slow them down. But, I think they made some tough shots. You got to credit them. We had hands in some of their shots, and they still knocked them down. But that's what they do. They're an excellent shooting team, and they know who to get the ball to when the game's on the line. And
in fairness, you came back almost every time and matched them shot for shot.
Yeah, that was big. That was maturity. We drew some things up, and we talked about what we want to run in certain instances in practice, and we executed. Guys finished plays off, got to the free throw line, made a majority of them, and it was good.
Well, Jeff, that's a disappointing blow for you. What are your thoughts after that game?
Disappointed first half, really. I think it set a bad tempo, a bad tone for us. A little bit too much one-on-one. We forced some stuff. We weren't moving the basketball. When we did, we were good. We just stopped. People took it upon themselves to try and force stuff, take it upon themselves to win the game. the group that came in the second half and kind of kept it around the 8-10 mark, I thought they did a good job. They played pretty hard. It's just we just lacked that little bit of composure and execution. And the first half, I was extremely disappointed. Second half, guys played as hard as they could, certain guys, and it was good. But I mean, it's a tough loss, a tough place to come and play. They're playing pretty well. Obviously, they didn't play that great against Leicester last week, but they're tough here, and we just couldn't handle Tuck. We did a decent job, but it wasn't enough.
And was the halftime talk about getting those defensive rebounds, about stopping them attacking the lane?
Oh yeah, we had to keep them off that. They killed us on the offensive glass. Like we were -9, whatever it was. It just killed us, absolutely killed us. So I think from our point of view, we just have to do some work. Ali was struggling a little bit with a back. He just couldn't move as well as he wanted to. Mike did okay. I was all right with Mike Bernard. Ben, second half, Ben stepped up and played. So, it was just one of those things, just a lack of leadership, a little bit lack of maturity, maybe, so it was a tough one.
Dave, looking back at the highlights of this game, really, Manchester got off to a great start. They really attacked aggressively. They were shooting the ball well as well.
They did, yeah. I mean, at that point in time, it looked as though it was going to be Manchester's night. But the longer the game went on, then the more impressive Sheffield's defence around the basket became. 14 offensive rebounds was massive for them. 50 points in the paint was massive for them.
I mean, some of that, if we watch some of these plays, they're just getting to the basket far too easily for Manchester's liking.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester at one point tried to play zone defence to protect that middle, which I felt worked, but didn't take care of the defensive rebounds.
This was a real momentum play because they got 2 points, then a steal, and on the buzzer from Lewis off the glass really gave Sheffield a bit of a lift at the end of that period.
Best possible finish they could have had to the first half, and obviously set the tone then for their efforts in the second half.
And defensively, they played really well. We saw, I mean, that was a tremendous block shot, but there were other good plays, and just too many of these fast break dunks for Manchester. I mean, credit Sheffield for getting out there, but Manchester have got to fill up that gap.
Yeah, and also credit Sheffield, they made some changes with the players earlier in the season. What we've got clear evidence of here is continual improvement from the Sheffield team, and ended up with getting them a very, very well-earned W tonight. Again, Babalola out on the break. That's twice we've seen that.
Yeah, Manchester did rally a bit in the fourth quarter, played pretty well. This is the moment that we worried for a little bit about Olu Babalola, where he goes over injured, ended up getting that ankle ice. Hopefully, Coach Lyons said it's an ongoing thing. Hopefully, he'll be all right for next week.
Yeah, but I mean, what it did show is I thought Jemison stepped up big time for them. Just going back to Manchester and their efforts, I thought James Jones was the one guy who really stuck to things on there. And one thing I will credit Sheffield with, the Nick George factor we talked about before the game, they made him work for every single one of his points.
They certainly did, but Sheffield had enough in the end to hang on for victory here.
Let's take a look at all the results over the weekend in the BBL, and the most notable came on Friday night, when a Gabe Haskins steal and a Ches Marks layup on the buzzer gave Cheshire a shock win in Newcastle. Also on Friday, Worcester eased past the Tigers. On Saturday, it took 50 minutes to separate Worcester and London, the Wolves finally coming out on top, 98-91 after double overtime. Leicester made it a year unbeaten at home with a win over the Giants, and Matt Schneck hit 2 game-winning free throws with 2.5 seconds left as the Raiders beat the Heat. Sunday's action saw the Rocks continue their fine form with a 99-73 victory over the Wildcats. Eagles got back to winning ways with the 96-79 success in Plymouth, whilst Cheshire were close to an amazing double over the weekend, but Leicester rallied from 12 down in the second half to win 69-60. Here's what it all means to the table then. Leicester with a 2-point lead at the top. Glasgow in third, but Surrey and Plymouth are not far behind them. Sheffield now up to 7th. Phoenix and Lions are level, and Durham have a game in hand. And an unwanted record for the Tigers as they equal Dockland's 0-23 start to a campaign, the longest run without a win to begin a season.
An important win for Sheffield in the battle for lower playoff places. Next week, we turn our attentions back to the top end of the table as champions Newcastle travel to Guildford to take on a Heat side trying to keep themselves in the top 4. That's Surrey Heat versus Newcastle Eagles, Tuesday, 24th of February, Sky Sports 2 at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.